Welcome to the deep dive. Forget scrolling through endless articles. Today we're doing something different.
Right, we're laser focusing on just one source to pull out some real gems
And our
fast.
source today, it's actually a story. Tara the Tortoise's race.
Mm.
Sounds simple, maybe.
Well, it seems simple on the surface. You've got Tara the tortoise, right?
Yeah.
And she's, tired of being called slow by Benny the bunny and Frankie the fox.
The classic taunts.
Exactly. So she enters the Great Jungle Jamboree race. And right off the bat, you see these totally different ways the racers approach this challenge.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. To look at what this story shows us about, well, different ways to tackle things and maybe what being a winner actually means.
Precisely. Let's get into it.
All right, let's contrast them. So, Benny the bunny. He's all speed, right? Got those springy sneakers.
Yeah, speed and, frankly, a lot of overconfidence. He thinks he's got it in the bag.
Then there's Frankie the fox. Mr. Tech.
Uh-huh. Roller skates
Yeah.
with rocket boosters. Very high-tech approach.
And then Tara. What's her gear?
Well, she's got her shell, her stubby legs, and she packs some lettuce wraps for lunch. Steady, prepared, maybe?
Prepared for lunch anyway.
Yeah.
So how do these strategies play out in the actual race?
Well, the jungle isn't a smooth racetrack. Benny's speed. It doesn't help him in the mud. He gets completely stuck, tangled up.
So speed isn't everything if the terrain changes.
Exactly. And Frankie. His rocket skates are super fast, sure, but totally uncontrollable on the slippery, mossy parts of the track. He loses control.
Okay, so both the speed demon and the tech whiz run into trouble. What about Tara?
Kara. She's just plodding along, consistent, not fast, but always moving forward.
And here's a key part, I think. When Benny is stuck, despite Benny teasing her earlier.
Tara helps him. She stops her race, essentially, to help him get untangled.
That's interesting. Not very competitive in the traditional sense.
No, it isn't. It shows something else, maybe a different kind of strength. It's not just about getting yourself across the finish line
It
first.
doesn't stop there, does it? What about Frankie?
Same thing happens again. When Frankie crashes and his skates break, he's upset, probably a bit scared. And Tara,
She stops again.
she stops again, she checks on him. She even shares her lettuce wraps with him, offers comfort.
Lettuce wraps diplomacy. But seriously, it's this pattern of pausing her own progress to help others.
Right. And these aren't just quick fixes. It takes time, patience. It shows a real focus on, well, others, not just the race itself.
So let's talk about the end, the finish line. Tara obviously isn't the fastest because she keeps stopping.
Correct. She doesn't cross the finish line first. Benny and Frankie, after being helped, probably beat her there.
But she gets a trophy anyway, a special one.
Yes, the trophy says, most helpful racer winner at heart. And hooves.
Okay, winner at heart. What are we supposed to take from that? Is it just a consolation prize or something more?
I think it's much more. It fundamentally reframes winning. It suggests that maybe contributing positively, showing kindness, showing resilience, that is a form of winning. Maybe even a more important one.
It challenges the idea that only the fastest or the one who finishes first wins.
Definitely. It values the how as much, or maybe more, than the what.
And Tara herself says something quite profound at the end.
She does. She says, I may not be the fastest, but I go the right way, even if it's the slow way.
The right way, even if it's the slow way. Wow, there's a lot packed into that, isn't there? For, life outside of jungle races.
Absolutely. It speaks to integrity, to purpose. It's not just about the destination, but the journey and the choices you make along that journey.
So the story kind of spells out the lessons too. Slow and steady works, helping others matters.
And that qualities we sometimes overlook, like kindness, patience, determination, they're actually incredibly valuable. They make you a true winner in a different sense.
So boiling it down from this deep dive into Tara's race, the key thing seems to be that being effective, making an impact, isn't always tied to speed or flashiness.
Not at all. Kindness, that steady perseverance, supporting others. These are real strengths, powerful qualities.
Okay, so here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Reflect on a time, maybe in your work or your life, when taking that slower, steadier path or stopping to help someone actually led to a better, more meaningful result than just rushing ahead.
Yeah. How could you maybe lean into those superpowers, kindness, patience, steadiness a bit more in whatever you're tackling next? Something to mull over.